fourth home match of the year for Louisville City, and finally some good weather. Temperatures hovering in the 60s. Tonight's pregame brought to you by Four Roses Bourbon. Tonight, a rematch of the Eastern Conference quarterfinal from 2017. Louisville City FC atop the East, taking on Bethlehem Steel FC. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Matt Stubbington alongside Mike Watts with you. And that was a game where Lou City dominated at home en route to the USL Cup final. A 4-0 win. Bethlehem certainly remembers, but there's a much greener roster, a much younger roster, a newer roster than what saw the field in October last year.
It certainly is a new roster, a lot of new faces for Brendan Burke. But no, Coach Burke will remember that game from last year, and the goalkeeper tonight, Jake Maguire, will remember as well, as he was the player that conceded the 4 goals. But it was a great performance by the home side en route to that 4-0 drumming of Bethlehem Steel. Even though it's a new squad, Mike, the team will still know that they're wearing the Bethlehem Steel name on their shirts, and will want to be going forward to the prideful play of game today.
Tarek Morad waited all year to score. He scores 2 in the game. Luke Spencer dinks one in, and Brian Omby, who scored in the first handful of playoff games for Louisville City, would add the cherry on top. It was a dominant performance over the number 8 seed in the Eastern Conference as they knock him out 4-0. Now, when you think about Bethlehem, it's a team that has so much offensive potential. Right now, though, they're having a little trouble stringing it all together offensively.
Well, they've had a little bit of injury problems at the beginning of this season, and they are struggling to put the ball in the back of the net. They have to find a way to get that consistency in the attacking third, so they do find a way to put the ball into the goal. They do have the players to do it. The midfields of Moa, Najim, and Epps. They'll be trying to find Brandon Allen tonight, who is an absolute star for them up top.
Yeah, Brandon Allen, former USL Rookie of the Year, USL Cup MVP with New York Red Bulls too. Last year with Minnesota United. Well, he's back in USL now.
He's a talented player, great center forward, got the nose for goal, as was described by Brendan Burke when he was signed for Bethlehem Steel. And Coach Burke, we're hoping that he will find his Rookie of the Year form when he scored 21 goals.
Oh, that used to be his jersey number you mentioned. Well, now it's 40. Can he find 40? Who knows? But Cameron Lancaster trying to find double digits this year. Had a really nice performance last time out.
Certainly did. Got the goal against Atlanta United too. He's been playing really well this early part of the season. Keep making those runs. Keep finding a way to get in and around the box, creating those chances. And the Lou City fans will be hoping that he'll hit a purple patch of goals real soon.
So Lou City home again, and they've got 2 tough road games on the horizon, Indy and Nashville. So points crucial as they try and stay atop the East. Bethlehem has waited 2 long weeks for a rematch. They may have well been waiting 6 months. The action comes your way next.
Excitement, innovation, inspiration. That's the feeling of spring. Anything and everything is possible because life is happening all around us. Make every drive more exciting in the sporty new 2018 Toyota Camry. Now at Toyota's Make Life Happen sales event, get 0.9% financing for 60 months on Camry, or lease one for just $239 a month with Toyota's Safety Sense Standard. Visit your Toyota dealer today and make life happen. Toyota, let's go places.
The spring sales event is going on now at Commonwealth Dodge Ram. A new 18 Ram 1500 pickup, now just $21,988, or buy for $269 a month. A new 18 Ram Bighorn 4x4, discounted $12,000 off MSRP at Commonwealth Dodge Ram.
At UPS, I'm the senior web developer for the Aircraft Maintenance and Engineering Department. The one thing that's really great about Sullivan is it gives you the opportunity to get an associate degree before you get your bachelor's degree. I've already been in my position 2 years and just recently graduated with a bachelor's.
At Commonwealth Dodge Ram, get a new 2018 Dodge Journey for $16,988, or buy for $198 a month. A new 18 Grand Caravan, $22,988, or buy for $279 a month. Commonwealth Dodge Ram, right on Preston and always right on the price. Go to CommonwealthDodge.com.
Have a great business concept or invention but don't know how to turn it into something tangible? The U of L MBA program can teach you the business skills needed to turn a great idea into a great business. You'll be taught by faculty who are also serial entrepreneurs and investors, and will gain great connections in the entrepreneurial community. If you're serious about taking your idea to the next level, visit uoflmba.com to learn more. Bring your business vision to life with an entrepreneurship MBA from the University of Louisville.
GE Appliances welcomes you into tonight's broadcast. Slugger Field decided as Louisville City FC looks to extend their best start in franchise history against Bethlehem Steel FC. They saw in the 1-8 matchup in the Eastern Conference Finals, playoffs rather, last year. Here's a look at the lineup. We begin with Bethlehem Steel. 4 starters did not roster in their last game.
It's such a challenge for Brendan Burke with the rotation of players that he has to deal with, but it's a talented outfit that he has. Marcus Epps is a very good midfielder on the right-hand side, so is Santi Moa on the left.
On the other side, Louisville City not making a lot of changes. George Davis moves in, Niall McCabe will come off the bench.
Well, with the squad that Coach O'Connor has, consistency in the lineup is something that he is able to put forth, and it is a strong lineup. Devin Williams and Paolo Del Piccolo are talented center midfielders and a real challenge for the visitors tonight.
Lou City, 4 wins and a draw through 5 matches. James O'Connor leading this team to an even better result than he did a year ago when they started 6 unbeaten. Already through 6 games, they'd have their most points even if they were to fall here tonight. Impressive stuff from the Irishman's team here at the outset of the 2018 season. The sun finally is out in Louisville, the field in much better condition than it was a month ago when we kicked off the season. And we're underway from downtown Louisville, Bethlehem Steel and Louisville City FC.
It's good to see Oscar Jimenez on the field. Came off as a substitute last weekend. Looked like he had tweaked his ankle. It turned out it was just a cramp that he was suffering from, so Coach O'Connor made the change at that point in the game to make sure that number 19 was ready to go. It's so important to what Lou City have been doing this early part of the season. So strong down the left and the right flanks, whichever side of the pitch he's asked to play on.
Williams turns it over. This portion of tonight's game brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. George Davis giving chase. Olivier Bizo makes his first start at the fullback position, his USL debut. Native of Cameroon. This is Jones, crossfield. Brought down by Prosper Sheluya. Native of Zambia. Overcooked that. Greg Ranjitsing will take over. Before we get too far into the game, we should know 12,000 runners engulfed downtown Louisville today for the Kentucky Derby Festival Marathon. And our congratulations to Danny Fisher of Indianapolis, who led start to finish in the women's 26.2-mile race, and Jeremy Johnson of Austin, Indiana, who ran a marathon about 5 hours faster than either of us would, 2 hours, 21 minutes, 20 seconds.
Pretty good time.
Illich couldn't play it through, and Aubrey takes over. One of the big ticket signings of the offseason. Allen on the ground, it's a skipper. And Ranjitsing will pick up.
I just feel sorry for those marathon runners. The point too was because of the British royal family wanted to watch the start of the 1908 marathon.
Come on.
And they had to extend the race so they could run past Windsor Castle.
Really?
That's what I hear.
I don't know which Louisville City player is most likely to complete a marathon in the fastest fashion. I haven't quite thought that through.
As fit as Coach O'Connor has his team, I think they could all probably do it without too much problem.
Craig. And McGuire will make the catch here. Just 22 years old, a second-round pick of the Houston Dynamo last year. You mentioned it. He's probably got a pretty significant memory of that game a season ago in the playoffs, a 4-0 loss. Turned over. Catalano. Epps ahead. Najum drives it out of play. Adam Najum, 23 years old. His brother, David, tore his ACL with the Tampa Bay Rowdies earlier this month. Thoughts with David, and well, it's a really talented footballing family, to say the least. Del Piccolo, got that off of Santi Moar. So far, so good for Bethlehem here on the road.
It has. They've certainly had more of the play in the early going. The home team are dropping back a little too deep defensively, allowing space for Bethlehem Steel to exploit the middle part of the pitch. With the experience that Devin Williams and Del Piccolo have in the center mid area, I'm sure that will be fixed really quickly. Seems to be a lot of white shirts in the middle of the field at the moment, trying to deny service into the front three of Louisville City FC. Illich, Davis IV, and of course Cameron Lancaster.
Bizo off of his fellow number 5, Craig. Corner on the way for Bethlehem Steel 5 minutes into the match.
Bizo's getting forwards as well from his outside back position, which is making life difficult.
Najum recovers, boots to the back post. Was that tipped by Ranjit Singh? It was. He concedes a second corner.
I initially thought he read that really well, but the ball seemed to sail on him a little bit, and he struggled to just tip that one out of the playing area out for the corner kick. Needed some communication from his defenders. Of course, they're all facing the goal, and the ball, they lost track of any runners that might have been coming in.
Moar swinging, caught by Ranjit Singh. Only 7 saves through 5 matches. Of course, he's only allowed 2 goals. But just not a lot of action for the Trinidad and Tobago international who grew up in Ontario, Canada.
It's really impressive. You think that Louisville City play with 3 backs, Tosh, Craig, and Suhai, and how well they play in front of Ranjit Singh.
Moar trying to get in behind. Lost the handle. Tosh recovers. That's a team without Sean Francis again and Pat McMahon, both out of the 18. And Lancaster commits the foul.
I think he's hard done by there. I thought he had good position on the ball. Certainly one of the keys, I think, for Bethlehem Steel is to occupy those outside players for Louisville City. And they're doing it by sending their outside backs forwards. We've seen Mbizo go forwards from the right back position.
Tosh snuck it away. Off of Aubrey. Cross field, short armed for Jimenez. And Bizo goes down. Play on, says the referee. Jimenez cutting inside. Can they get the switch? Davis the 4th wide. Smith. Nobody home for Louisville. It's Kyle Smith again.
Brandon Burke wants the referee to stop play, and Bizo's still down on the ground.
Davis shooting. Oh, I put it over the crossbar. And finally a stoppage in play at the 8-minute mark.
Bizo is still down on the turf. Difficult opportunity there for George Davis IV, leaning backwards as he pulls his foot back and swings it through the ball. He's concerned now Bizo has been so influential going forwards in this early part of the game. He slipped on the turf. He's been holding his knee. Hopefully he's okay.
Guy making his USL debut, 20-year-old out of Douala in Cameroon. It's a chance for James O'Connor to reset a bit here for Louisville City. He earned an invite to training with the Philadelphia Union in Florida. Had signed in January, really impressed. And signed to the Union on April the 17th. He's on loan to Bethlehem now. You can see him there just trying to step this out. Mahoney checking on him too. Well, there's Brendan Burke, former assistant to the Union. Took over Bethlehem 3 years ago, a guy who coached Reading United. Just a really impressive coach, young coach that James O'Connor told us this week he has a lot of respect for. And we hear that from coaches a lot, but he brought it up a couple times. You could really tell it was genuine, sincere appreciation.
That's one thing, when we get to talk to the coaches, there is a real feeling of respect within the coaching fraternity in the USL. And some coaches know each other better, and Coach O'Connor certainly was very complimentary of Brendan Burke.
And Jitsing collecting with Brandon Allen on the doorstep.
Bizo is back on the pitch. Referee waved him on.
Bizo on the spot there. Lifted for George Davis. Piccolo knocking back, it's Tosh. Smith. Smith again. Hallelujah has come out. Smith taken away from Lancaster. Good step by Matt Mahoney. Jones. Overrun, only for a moment. Now Illich takes over. Takes a deflection. Lancaster following still. Jake McGuire lofts it away. Steered back to Ranjit Singh. Throw for Louisville City, who come off a 1-1 draw against Atlanta United 2 on the road. The first trip to Gwinnett County outside Atlanta. Illich, Lancaster. Lancaster may have a second go. He does, and it's in. Lancaster scores again. Louisville take the lead.
Ball was never dealt with by the visitors. Bethlehem still couldn't clear the danger. The Cameron Lancaster never say die attitude just kept things alive in the box. Finally able to put it behind Jake McGuire into the back of the net. Delight for the home fans. I think Cameron Lancaster will have a lot of relief as well as delight, because it took 67 minutes for him to score last weekend and a lot of chances. But really on his first effort inside the penalty area, he puts it into the back of the net. Delightful left-footed finish there. Great job.
A goal presented by the Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education, the Kentucky Lottery.
There's a lot of white shirts around Cameron Lancaster. They never dealt with the ball. He was a little bit fortunate to get the deflection back. But once that ball was on his left foot, you knew where it was going to go. Straight on frame. Maguire, really no chance to make the save. Was on his heels a little bit. But even if he was set for the shot, I don't think he'd have been able to make the stop.
All of a sudden, if you're Jake Maguire, you can't help but feel like you're seeing this movie play out again. He played so well in the matchup in mid-September. 9 shots on target, stopped 7 of them, and it was 2 set pieces, a penalty and a free kick that beat him. Now he's been beaten 5 times in the run of play in the last 105 minutes against Louisville. It's a talking to for Sheluya.
David Barry, the referee, having none of it. Good officiating there, talking to the player, calming things down.
Long ball into the 18, handled well by Mahoney. Lancaster's 3rd of the year. He's scored now in 2 in a row. Dealt with by Bizo. This portion of tonight's telecast brought to you by Republic Bank. Blue City, a 1-0 lead over Bethlehem Steel on this late April Saturday evening. Temperatures in the low 60s, the sun finally out. For Louisville, their 6th match of the year, looking to go unbeaten for the longest stretch to start a year in franchise history. Bethlehem looking for what would be an enormous road win against the reigning USL Cup champion.
Great closing speed from Bizo to get back goal side of Cameron Lancaster. Number 9 for the home team didn't appreciate the shove in the back, but I thought the right fullback Bizo did really well defensively then.
Mawar looking for Allen. Alexi took it. Plenty of contact there and shifted to Jimenez. Steered aside to Smith, who will throw. Ushered through by Davis. Smith. Davis by Mawar. Step aside, young man. Now the ball out in front. Illich put it in. And it'll count. 17th minute, 2-0. Or will it? Well, he did look like he was in an offside position. And now it appears the referee has indeed taken it off the board.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a well-worked goal.
Well, now the confusion reigns, huh? He's carrying this to midfield. It will count, or no, will it? Yeah, this will count. This goal is presented by the Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education, the Kentucky Lottery.
He was in an onside position when the ball came in. Lovely movement from George Davis IV. Beautifully done. Finds Smith. This ball comes in. Difficult for the defenders to deal with. And Illich arriving late on the back post. Just easiest of touches past Jake Maguire.
Goodness me, the confusion. When we spoke with James O'Connor this week, we asked about how well Ilya Illich had played away to Atlanta United 2 last week. A foul, no advantage played here. And James told us he's just been unlucky not to get a run of games, and that he really did deserve a goal, and now he's got it, doesn't he?
Oh, he certainly did. I mean, he hit the woodwork twice, I think, last weekend, and deserved a goal, certainly for his efforts against Atlanta United too. But again, it's like Cameron Lancaster. You just got to keep working hard around the box and knocking on the door, and you hope that one day it'll open. And it seems so far in this match, it has done so. If you look at Louisville City FC, they've scored 2 goals basically on 2 shots today. They had 50 shots in the last 2 games and only had 3 goals to show for it. So they've been creating their chances. And for the season, they were the 5th in the league in shots, but 15th in scoring. So something had to give. Either you stop creating the chances, or when you create the chances, they go in the back of the net. And so far, it seems to the delight of the home fans, it's the chances that are going in the back of the net, not the other way around.
Jimenez into the space that Bizo had vacated. Lancaster knocks it outside. Kyle Smith with his right. Rolls it wide. In the 20th minute, Louisville City is still pushing on the accelerator. That was nearly hit as pristinely as a what is it?
Almost as sweetly as a pungent pineapple.
There you go. Illich's first of the year in the 17th minute. Moar. Wonderful footwork. Najim. And now the attack on through Jones. He goes down. No whistle there. Tosh to ground. Chested back. Moar. Off the hop.
Frustration there for Bethlehem still. It's a difficult opportunity for Moar. Ball was never going to drop kindly for him. But that's what you have to do if you're going to challenge Louisville City FC. You've got to play, have the courage to throw players forwards, particularly out wide. Because of the 4 midfielders that the home team have and the width that they create with those players, plus the 3 up top, it becomes so difficult for the outside backs to go forwards for the opposition. But you have to take that chance, try and occupy Smith and Jimenez defensively. Keep them in their own half. And it makes life a little bit easier for you.
Illich couldn't keep that in. Bethlehem looking for a response. Just 2 goals in their last 4 games. Lancaster, Illich. Lancaster again! He's back to brace. Louisville's up by 3. Less than 22 minutes in.
Well, Jake Maguire is asking, is this deja vu again? The back line never deal with it, running towards their goal, not looking where the play is too easily, as Cameron Lancaster found. Space in the box, you can't give that room. Never close down. The goalkeeper actually gets a touch, but not strong enough to tip it around the upright.
It's a goal presented by the Kentucky Lottery. They're fueling imagination and funding education. The Kentucky Lottery. Bethlehem sang over the bye week as Brandon Aubrey has interviewed a lot of individual talent. I don't think it's out of our reach, capable to go get points on the road to Louisville. It is a very steep mountain that they face now. Moar goes in on Tosh.
Louisville City have their tails up. You know that they're not going to stop attacking. It's not in their DNA to stop trying to get goals. visitors, they just have to get on the same page and find a way to stop the rout that's happening at the moment. And a deserved yellow card there from Biza. That was a cynical tackle on Jimenez.
24th minute yellow card for the 20-year-old making his USL and Bethlehem Steel debut. Sean Francis not available tonight, still dealing with a hamstring injury. Although typically it would be Jimenez from this side of the field regardless. Del Piccolo flanking him. Jimenez put a lot of air under that. Gets by Alexi Swahi.
Trying to bend that ball in. You could see from the flight there. Trying to curve it in from right to left, but too lofted. Didn't get the contact that Jimenez wanted on that ball.
Jones lays off. Allen! It's out in front, cleared Jimenez. Great first save from Ranjit Singh.
Well, Brandon Allen saying we're not out of this yet. Strong shot, good save by the goalkeeper. How important is it to track the runner? Look at Jimenez looking over his right shoulder, looking over his left shoulder, and finally getting on and deflecting that ball out for the corner kick. Great work from the left midfielder. Actually had two players on him, knew exactly where they were and where he needed to be to make the stop.
Lancaster, 2 goals tonight, rising up to make that contact. Illich scored in the 17th minute, sandwiched by Lancaster in the 13th and the 22nd. In a game that, quite frankly, has USL champions all over the field. Brandon Allen and Speedy Williams playing together. Boy, Jimenez into a pocket of space. Jimenez sliding that down. Lancaster lays it off. Shot is over the bar. Oh, Illich came rushing in.
Considering how that play broke down, it was still a pretty good opportunity for Louisville City. The shot going over the crossbar. James O'Connor going to his bench early. Magnus Rasmussen coming in.
It's a substitution for Louisville City in the 27th minute of play. Rasmussen comes on, Craig comes off. It's a substitution brought to you by Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Looking at Paco Craig, that looked like he was a little bit hobbled. A little bit of a limp to his gait. So look for Carl Smith to go into the back line. I would believe Rasmussen will go forwards. Probably Davis IV will probably drop into the midfield line as well. See how it all shakes out. But certainly I would be very surprised if Rasmussen is in the back three.
Well, yeah, there's Smith alongside Tosh.
So Tosh is in the middle, so Hayi's on the left. Smith is on the right. Bigger picture, let's hope that Paco Craig is not too dinged up if that is the problem. And
talk about a position where Louisville just can't lose anyone else.
They have depth in the midfield, but on the back line, things are a little bit skinny at the moment. McMahon's dealing with an injury.
McMahon is back to training, we've been told, this week. Sean Francis still dealing with a hamstring injury. Despite that lack of depth, Louisville City up 3-0 on Bethlehem. They look to extend a start to this year in which they've picked up 13 points in 5 games. Left 2 on the cutting room floor in Atlanta last week, conceding a 90th minute penalty to Andrew Carlton. No chance here to serve, no.
It was frustrating last week for Louisville City, but credit to the young man for Atlanta United too. He'd already missed a penalty in the match, but the 17-year-old, he won the PK and then went and picked the ball up and said, I want another bite of this. Very calmly put it in the back of the net.
Jones goes down hard there. Lifted over the top again, Mawar. Taken away by Davis in the penalty area. Dangerous stuff.
Another example of how important it is for the midfielders to track runners. Saw Jimenez clear one off the line previously, and that one, Davis the fourth, coming back beautifully. Lovely chest control from Moa.
Intercepted the cross for Catalano. Now for a Bethlehem Steel corner at the half-hour mark.
Louisville City just need to settle things down. They've had a big change personnel-wise with Paco Craig going out from the back lines. They just need to calm things down, communicate.
Mawar to Jones. Jones onto his left, caught Ranjit Singh. Ranjit Singh seeing more action than usual, despite the fact Louisville's set a season high for goals scored.
Nice adjustment from the goalkeeper, moving his feet in response to what Jones was doing with the ball at his. In the end, Ranjit Singh made that look very easy. Smith being in the back line, Mike, is not something that he hasn't done before. We've seen him play in the back three this season already. But as a player, you just need to settle things down a little bit and communicate. Make sure that you're on the same page. Realize that nothing really changes. The framework is still there. The personnel, the quality of player is still there.
This portion of tonight's game is brought to you by Sullivan University. Hallelujah. Clears the danger. Want to throw here, Shaluya. Really impressed in the U20 World Cup. Zambia reaching the quarterfinal, knocking out Germany in the process. Side stepped up to Illich. Del Piccolo. Jimenez.
Players open on the right flank, chose to go short with the ball, but Davis the fourth was open on that right wing.
Williams clipped it. Comes to Mawar. Knocked ahead. Hopped over Marcus Epps. Bethlehem corner on the way. Will look to level the shot count. Game where Louisville has been deadly efficient in front of goal. Najum allowed through. That was right off the training ground.
Well, the first two players were on the training ground, but I think the third player who's supposed to come in late had missed that practice.
Epps, caught by Ranjitsingh. Was an interesting commentary this past week from Brendan Burke. At times where you'll see a player loaned into the team on a Friday morning. Then they'll try and adjust the game plan a little bit, try and take advantage. Also don't want to overload a player with 36 hours, 24 hours to game time. This is a roster that sees 4 starters in the starting 11 that weren't in the 18 last time around. It's a luxury Louisville doesn't have. They simply don't have the numbers. But Bethlehem this year now has played 25 different players. They played 41 last year. Wonderful from Alexi.
It's a little bit of a double-edged sword as far as Brendan Burke's concerned. It's great that you do have these players being loaned to you that you can utilize. But at the same time, it's difficult to then encompass them into what you're trying to do. And he wasn't sure that he was going to be able to practice the squad that he was bringing to Louisville City until the Friday before the game. And that's very difficult as a team to get ready for a match against the defending champions. It's difficult to get ready for a game against anybody, but the fact that you're playing Louisville City, it makes it even more difficult.
It's Moar, had the overlap, and ricochets out for a Louisville throw. It's a Bethlehem team that's come so very far since their expansion season, the Lehigh Valley in 2016. That year they finished with 0 wins in their last 12, fell out of the playoff picture in 2017, reached the playoffs for the first time. And they very much expect to be there again this year. Group that, again, especially on the attacking side, has a real wealth of talent. We've seen flashes tonight from Allen and Moar in particular.
And they've been good value for money this early part of the season.
Del Piccolo tried to thread a ball through.
We've seen it tonight. I mean, they're down 3-0, but they've had 2 really good opportunities to put the ball in the back of the net themselves. Ranjitsingh had to make a really good save, followed with the Jimenez clearance. You look again, the game that they played against Nashville. They were down to 10 players inside the first 6 minutes. They quite easily could have tied that game or gone on to win it. They weren't fortunate enough to put the ball in the back of the net, but of the 2 sides, I would argue in that match, Bethlehem still were by far the better.
And in the first 10 minutes of this match, we were talking that it felt pretty even.
Absolutely.
Jimenez. Beisel comes to Epps. Epps corrals and drives, looking for Moar. Caught by Ranjitsingh.
Searching ball there from Epps. He had players on his left that he could have utilized, but saw Moa making that run into the box. The service was too far for the number 38.
Speaking of, too far there for Jimenez.
Marcus Epps is a talented player. I saw him play at USF, and there's moments of magic. But for me, he's one of those players, Mike, that if he could have one of those breakout games and really perform to his full potential, he could set the world alight.
Aubrey. You think about Epps, a guy that's gotten a cup of coffee in Major League Soccer with the Union. Fire Academy player. Union had to trade up in the Super Draft to get a hold of him. Clearly, they see what you saw.
He's so explosive off the dribble. Sometimes I think he gets a little lost on the flank. If he could find a way to get more inside, create some more goal-scoring opportunities for himself. And perhaps, I think, we saw an example of it, his service needs to improve and clean up his passes a little bit to involve his teammates, I think would benefit him as well.
There's Epps. He's pointing for the run up the right channel. Bizo will take on Jimenez off a touch. Purple family applauding a corner on the way for Bethlehem.
Bethlehem a little bit static in the box there.
Epps. Goal line extended. That'll be a goal kick. That did get out. Rasmussen at the center of the defensive effort.
Right there, you saw an example of the explosive nature of the way Epps can play, but he was well defended there by Rasmussen and Jimenez. Able to shepherd the number 20 from the steal out of bounds and gets the goal kick for Ranjitsingh.
Well, and it's an interesting place right now with Jones and Epps and the midfielders they do have, in part because they're missing James Chambers, the team captain, who was questionable coming into the night. I don't think there's a player in the Eastern Conference who better personifies a franchise than James Chambers does Bethlehem.
He's a fantastic player, and watching the first couple of games of the season, I don't think he touched the ball more than took more than 2 touches on the ball at any one time. He had 118 passes in the first game of the year, leading the team, leading the league as well. But in making those passes, Mike, everything was 1 or 2 touch passes, and it just moves the ball so quickly. And again, he was a huge part of why Bethlehem Steel was so competitive against the Nashville team when they came to visit. Because he was just all over the pitch until he went out. He was substituted late in the game. But he put forth so much effort, did Chambers, trying to chivvy his troops up so they could get a way back into the match.
Rasmussen, Williams, Lancaster for a third, just off the mark.
If it had been on target, Maguire was struggling again. The goalkeeper was on his heels a little bit. Great work from Rasmussen on this near sideline. I thought he had the opportunity to go near post on the shot. Again, that ball just going wide from Lancaster. Goalkeeper certainly didn't look set for me. Love to see Rasmussen get a little greedy though. He had this player beat to the outside, just needs to take it to his left foot and have a shot.
by Allen. Najum, Mawar through the legs of Sawahi, and Smith, no prisoners, kicks it out.
Lovely little knockdown there from Brandon Allen.
Turning, right-footed blast is in for Bethlehem. In the 44th, they grab one back before halftime.
Appreciation from the head coach, Brendan Burke. Been saying it all first half. They never have a never say die attitude. Beautiful finish, Marcus Epps, the magic of Marcus. Holds the play up, strong on the ball, turn and pulls the trigger. Ranjit diving to his left, couldn't keep it out. You could hear the gasp of disappointment from the home fans as that one ruffled the net.
Tosh brings it down. Del Piccolo surrounded, taken away. Najum lifting out of the reach of Allen. Well, we spoke about just how good Marcus Epps can be. His first goal of the season, native of Jackson, Mississippi. As we enter first half stoppage time, it's brought to you by Sullivan University. It'll be 2 extra minutes. Rasmussen nearly got that away.
Been a little entertaining this first 45 minutes.
A little bit. Louisville early, 3 goals in a 10-minute span in the opening 25 minutes. Bethlehem right before halftime, and that changes everything going into the locker room, because if Bethlehem goes in down 3-0, really not sure they'd take a lot out of this first half. Now, might go in thinking we have one, and we could have had 1 or 2 more.
I think the difference in the conversation is that now there's going to be some belief in the, come on boys, we can get back in this. A 3-0 down, it might be a little bit empty as far as the belief is concerned. But now I think they have reason to have true belief that they can get back into this game.
Tosh. There's Williams. Davis. Speedy Williams caught by McGuire.
Keeper saw that all the way. He was set that time, made no mistake, gets his body behind the ball. Well done, Miss McGuire.
Mawar. Najum, he's found more and more room as the half has gone along. Jones went down clean from Del Piccolo. Rasmussen run over right at the end. The allotted stoppage time. Will there be one more play here for Louisville? No. Well, Louisville 3 goals in the opening 25 minutes. Dominant start. Bethlehem grabs one back, and Brendan Burke goes into the locker room trying to figure out how to finagle a comeback out of this one.
Well, I think he's going to just really try and get things to stay the same as far as the way his team is playing. They're playing with a lot of energy, a lot of heart. Just have to make a few better decisions on the ball. Coach O'Connor, he's going to want to try and calm down Louisville City FC. They had Paco Craig go out injured, had to make some personnel changes. They just need to get on the same page defensively, I think, Mike.
Coming up at halftime, we'll have a look at our Commonwealth Credit Union roundup, a look at highlights and stats from the opening 45 minutes. Cameron Lancaster stealing the show. 2 goals for Louisville City. Illich finds his first of the year. At halftime, Lou City 3, Bethlehem Steel 1.
Fun, excitement, innovation, inspiration. That's the feeling of spring. Anything and everything is possible because life is happening all around us. Make every drive an adventure in your new Toyota RAV4. Now at Toyota's Make Life Happen sales event. Get 0% financing for 60 months on a new RAV4 or lease one for just $199 a month with Toyota Safety Sense Standard. Visit your Toyota dealer today and make life happen. Toyota, let's go places.
Have a great business concept or invention but don't know how to turn it into something tangible? The U of L MBA program can teach you the business skills needed to turn a great idea into a great business. You'll be taught by faculty who are also serial entrepreneurs and investors and will gain great connections in the entrepreneurial community. If you're serious about taking your idea to the next level, visit uoflmba.com to learn more. Bring your business vision to life with an entrepreneurship MBA from the University of Louisville.
The spring sales event is going on now at Commonwealth Dodge Ram. A new 18 Ram 1500 pickup, now just $21,988 or buy for $269 a month. A new 18 Ram Bighorn 4x4, discounted $12,000 off MSRP at Commonwealth Dodge Ram.
I got my true start in the culinary arts when I joined the British Army and learned from really, really brilliant chefs. One of the highlights for me was making Princess Anne's wedding cake. I've traveled, I've won numerous awards and competitions, but education is where my heart is. I want each student at Sullivan to receive the mentorship that I received during my training. We are dedicated to educating the next generation of chefs.
At Commonwealth Dodge Ram, get a new 2018 Dodge Journey for $16,988 or buy for $198 a month. A new 18 Grand Caravan, $22,988 or buy for $279 a month. Commonwealth Dodge Ram, right on Preston and always right on the price. Go to CommonwealthDodge.com.
Back in downtown Louisville, Kentucky, gorgeous sight. The sun is out and it keeps the temperatures hovering in the upper 50s, lower 60s. It'll only get warmer as we go along. It's still jacket weather, and well, we did see a fan in a Snuggie for whatever that's worth. Let's take a look at scores from around the league with our Commonwealth Credit Union Roundup. North Carolina, goals from Becker and DeLuce early. They're up to a 3-goal lead in the second half of that game. FC Cincinnati scored 2 phenomenal goals against Ottawa on the road, and Pittsburgh, Nico Brett scoring. It's 1-0 there. What stands out to you?
I mean, you showed me the highlights of the FC Cincinnati game, and those goals were fantastic. But a little surprise, Charlotte Independence, they've been struggling of late, haven't found a way to put the ball in the back of the net today against Indy 11. I'd like to see them get back on form. Certainly the 3 goals that North Carolina FC have put in, that's a great job by them.
And the Rowdies away to the Charleston Battery, and those road woes continue. They gave up 5 goals to New York Red Bulls 2 a couple weeks ago at Red Bull Arena. Now they're away to Charleston, and it's the same old story, isn't it? It's shocking.
I don't like to travel to the Tampa Bay Rowdies, and why not? Tampa Bay is a really nice place to be, but we've got to find a way to get the job done away from home. Otherwise, they're going to really have some struggles down the stretch.
And notably, Indy 11 at Lucas Oil Stadium, and Nashville SC away to Nashville up on the Louisville City upcoming schedule, and then Richmond Kickers and at Charleston on the horizon for Bethlehem Steel. Well, we talk about not wanting to travel if you're the Rowdies. Jack Blake makes the trek to USL headquarters every week to give you some of the best highlights that you may not have thought were highlights as part of the weekly Blakedown. You'll see that right now. Lou City ahead of Bethlehem, 3-1 at the half.
Welcome to the Blakedown once again. Thank you to everyone on social media that's given me positive comments, and I really appreciate the support. Here's episode 5, week 6 of the Blakedown.
Into the penalty area, some good give and go here. There's a shot, and they've opened the scoring.
This team goal by North Carolina is fantastic. If you notice that there's always players on the move, they're always giving the attacking player who's got the ball an option to move. For Rios there, he has 2 or 3 options at the time when he received the ball, and he just found himself in extremely good space. But again, it's just the constant movement of the team, and it makes it very difficult for the defenders to track runners. Once again, it's a fantastic first-time finish, especially on turf, into the top corner.
Oh, bad back pass. Arboleda picks it up, takes the shot, and puts it in the back of the net.
Arboleta's goal starts with his positioning. If you notice, he gives himself an opportunity to close down the centre-back. And he reads the pass extremely well and uses his pace to get there. And then obviously, once he's used his pace, he has to slow himself down. And you see from the finish that there's nothing the keeper could do about that. The celebration is not so much in for Player of the Week, but the finish definitely is.
For Escalante. Goes well to pick this up. Goes through the legs of Navarro. Sends the service.
Escalante's skill here has 2 or 3 different stages. The first stage is when he receives the ball, and it's not the greatest ball to him, but he makes the most out of it. And when he turns, the defender, he's expecting the defender to tackle him. When the defender doesn't make a move, then that's his opportunity to create the skill. And the composure as well. Once he's made the skill, not to get carried away, but to have the composure to cross it. And it's a fantastic cross, and I think he's expecting more from his striker there.
Iwasa, Bijev cuts, plays it across, oh, it's in!
When Hall receives the ball here, it's not the easiest ball to deal with. He uses it to his advantage, and it draws 2 defenders out. And once he's drew the 2 defenders out, it then creates more space for Bijev. And when he receives the ball, I think the defender's expecting him to go on his right foot, but he does a fantastic skill. And at a tight angle there, it's a fantastic finish. The composure to relax himself, but to slot it through the keeper is fantastic. And it makes it very difficult for the keeper to get down low when he shoots it at his legs. I hope you've all enjoyed episode 5, week 6 of the Breakdown. I look forward to seeing you next week.
I, for one, appreciate his use of the Red Hot Chili Peppers and Flea's fantastic bass guitar. But the Breakdown is always available also on USL's YouTube channel. Here's a look around the USL news and notes. 3 unbeatens are left, Louisville among them. San Antonio blowing out Las Vegas last night in the USL Game of the Week. That's worth watching again on the ESPN app. Georgi Ristov, his 57th goal into Rowdy's lure. And 8 games at game-tying or game-winning goals after the 72nd minute, including Louisville's game last week.
Well, some exciting games last week and some fantastic finishes, and Phoenix Rising's game last week was certainly one of them as well. That was a highlight for me. But no surprise there that Pittsburgh Riverhounds were the last team to allow a goal in the USL.
That's a Bob Lilly special, isn't it? Here's a look at the power rankings, and, well, Pittsburgh's not in the top 10 right now, are they? Despite a nice run of form. And you look at the teams that are in the top 10, Louisville City leading the pack, Orange County coming off a couple of disappointing performances of late. Is there anyone here who could make their way up this week? Maybe Cincinnati?
Well, Cincinnati, certainly with the result that they had, you'd expect them to climb in the rankings. Phoenix Rising FC, they play Fresno later today. It's going to be an interesting match, that one. I expect that the Rising could probably rise up the table as well.
A look at the upcoming schedule. Notable games in the Eastern Conference next weekend. We'll go to Lucas Oil Stadium for Indy 11 and FC Cincinnati in the USL Game of the Week. More on that in a moment. The Rowdies and Penn FC on Friday night. Then on Saturday, Indy 11 hosting again. This time, Lou City will see them for the first time in USL play. And the Battery and the Independents, always fun when those two tussle.
It will be a fun one with those, the derby game for them. And interested to see what Indy 11 look like. It's going to be a great matchup next weekend for Louisville City FC. But of course, Coach O'Connor will be telling me off for looking ahead to next week as we got another 45 minutes to go in this exciting game tonight.
Speaking of the USL Game of the Week, a look at what's coming up on the ESPN3 docket. Indy 11 and FC Cincinnati on deck. RGV will visit Chuck Chansey Park in Fresno on May the 9th. They'll close out May with St. Louis and Phoenix. Cincinnati and this Bethlehem Steel side close out the early stages of the ESPN3 schedule. And then it's on to national TV. ESPN News, Nashville and Indy, 2 teams that have had really impressive starts to their USL foray.
Well, they have been impressive, but it's also impressive for the USL to get onto the national stage with ESPN News, and just really as a statement of how important this league is for the picture of soccer in this country.
And of course, this game and every regular season game available on ESPN Plus as part of a new multi-year broadcast agreement with the worldwide leader in sports. It's 3-1 to Louisville City at halftime over Bethlehem Steel. It's 3 early ones for the home side. Bethlehem picking one up a minute before the break. We'll show you first half highlights when we come back.
Fun, excitement, innovation, inspiration. That's the feeling of spring. Anything and everything is possible because life is happening all around us. Make every drive more fun in the stylish 2018 Toyota Corolla, Corolla IM hatchback, and sporty CHR crossover. Now at Toyota's Make Life Happen sales event, get 0.9 financing for 60 months or lease one for just $169 a month with Toyota Safety Sense Standard. See your Toyota dealer and make life happen. Toyota, let's go places.
At UPS, I'm the senior web developer for the Aircraft Maintenance and Engineering Department. The one thing that's really great about Sullivan is it gives you the opportunity to get an associate degree before you get your bachelor's degree. I've already been in my position 2 years and just recently graduated with a bachelor's.
The spring sales event is going on now at Commonwealth Dodge Ram. A new 18 Ram 1500 pickup, now just $21,988 or buy for $269 a month. A new 18 Ram Bighorn 4x4, discounted $12,000 off MSRP at Commonwealth Dodge Ram.
Have a great business concept or invention but don't know how to turn it into something tangible? The U of L MBA program can teach you the business skills needed to turn a great idea into a great business. You'll be taught by faculty who are also serial entrepreneurs and investors and will gain great connections in the entrepreneurial community. If you're serious about taking your idea to the next level, visit uoflmba.com to learn more. Bring your business vision to life with an entrepreneurship MBA from the University of Louisville.
At Commonwealth Dodge Ram, get a new 2018 Dodge Journey for $16,988 or buy for $198 a month. A new 18 Grand Caravan, $22,988 or buy for $279 a month. Commonwealth Dodge Ram, right on Preston and always right on the price. Go to CommonwealthDodge.com.
Well, it's a nice crowd here tonight, as it has been over the recent years in Louisville, and tonight it's expected that the USL will cross the 500,000 in attendance mark earlier than they have in any season in league history, and this crowd helping push that number ever closer to that 500,000 mark. We hope you've enjoyed it, whether you're in the stands or watching with us. Matt Stubbington alongside Mike Watts with you. Highlights galore from the opening half. How about we start with Louisville out of the gate, picking up not one, not two, but 3 first-half goals.
Well, the visitors were really putting the home side under some challenges, but then it was Cameron Lancaster that stepped up. A little bit fortunate for the ball bounces back to him, but he makes no mistake with his left foot. Stays with it. There's the fortunate bounce. Knows where the goal is, never looks up, just finds the ball, concentrating on the soccer ball, and puts it in the back of the net with his left peg.
Goal number 3 of the season. He's scored in 2 games running. It's in the 13th minute, and Louisville City is off and running. Moving ahead, this just 4 minutes later, Ilya Illich out in front. He is onside. This does count, and it's 2-0.
Well, there was some confusion whether he was or not onside, but he timed his run to perfection. The cross was also perfect, but it was all started by that man, Davis IV. A little sidestep action on the right flank, finds Smith, who crosses it in to Illich to finish the chance.
How about 3 goals in 10 minutes? This in the 22nd. What a nice strike from Cameron Lancaster.
Well, if you bet the back line, you just can't give him that amount of space in the box. And that was a huge mistake there from Mahoney. Never closed Lancaster down. He's facing his own goal. And again, Lancaster is just too good that close in and is going to find the back of the net pretty easily.
Lancaster making Maguire fear deja vu from a year ago's playoff match. But Epps would have a response for Bethlehem. This in the 44th minute. It's a very important goal for the Steel.
It was well done from Epps. He ran from deep, from the blind side of the defender, found his way to get the ball, collects it nicely with his right foot. A lovely turn, and then just buries it past Ranjetsingh. Really well taken goal from the number 20.
Statistically, this game is not that far apart, Matt, and if Bethlehem doesn't have a ball steered away from the line by Oscar Jimenez in the first 20 minutes, I don't know what this scoreline looks like.
Oh, well, they would have a second goal for sure.
Yeah.
Jimenez did a tremendous job defensively to clear that ball off of the goal line. But it's been a really entertaining match and a pretty even match, as we can see by the shots from both teams. The shots on target are absolutely even. I never really care about the possession because it depends on where it is on the field. I think that 46 and that 54 have pretty much been in the opposition's half for a lot of the game, and that's why it's been so entertaining for the fans to watch.
Gorgeous evening in downtown Louisville as fans awaiting the start of this second half. And let's take a look at our Vision Works, what to look for as we head to this second half of play.
Well, for me, Louisville City just have to make sure that they keep calm, communicate, and move the ball. When they do that, they look good and put Bethlehem still under some pressure. But on the other side of the ball, Bethlehem still are very good at putting the pressure on in the midfield area. And if they can make sure that Speedy Williams and Del Piccolo don't have a lot of time on the ball, then they will force some turnovers and perhaps get some more goal-scoring opportunities.
Well, Bethlehem will try and keep pressing here, try and find a result, and then they'll look forward to an upcoming match back at Goodman Stadium against Richmond on Sunday, May the 6th, and then they're away to Charleston the following Saturday before welcoming New York in the middle of May. For Louisville, they're at Indy, at Nashville, and they'll take on Atlanta at home, their next home match, May the 19th. So trying to leave the right impression on the home crowd before they head off on a 2-game road swing while Bethlehem tries to erase a 4-match winless streak. This portion of tonight's match brought to you by Plainview Apartments, underway in the second half.
I think Najim is going to be a really important player for Bethlehem still. He, in the latter part of the first 45 minutes, stepped up defensively. He was one of those key components to why Del Piccolo and Williams were having less time on the ball. If he can continue that into the second half, the visitors might put some pressure on Louisville City. Certainly you don't want to have easy turnovers there from Smith. Poor pass forwards.
Bizo collected by Alexi off of Del Piccolo. One change for Louisville in the first half. Defensive Player of the Year finalist from 2017, Paco Craig, went out with a non-disclosed reason to this point. Bethlehem keeping their starting 11 in play. Finest evening weather-wise of the home season so far for Louisville. Mawar. Ranjitsingh had that easily. Was frustrated in the moment. Knocked that again. And Sheluya.
That's what I'm talking about. Keeping calm and communicate. Great example of that not happening in the box. It was Speedy Williams that came back defensively, perhaps. Certainly the communication wasn't there between goalkeeper and outfield player.
Slicing ball for Davis. Steps it back. Rasmussen. This will end up in a corner for Louisville City.
Well, that was a delightful ball across the pitch. I didn't think it was ever going to get to George Davis IV, but the weight of the pass was fantastic. The shot comes in, and I think there was the deflection.
Off the back of Brandon Aubrey. First Louisville corner of the evening. Rasmussen colliding with McGuire. It's easy work of that.
Keeper did well under the pressure.
Epps, Allen, Ranjitsingh rather take this himself. Well, McGuire was under pressure here on this last corner.
Rasmussen coming in late on the run, wasn't picked up by a defender. Unchallenged on the goalkeeper. McGuire was strong, able to keep hold of it.
Sheluya throws in quickly. Allen, Najim, dispossessed by Smith.
You notice the position of Sawai there, trying to get position to find a way to challenge Allen. Almost went over the top of Brandon Allen. Would have been called for a foul if he had done so in a dangerous area of the pitch.
Epps. Off his foot by Del Piccolo. Rasmussen. Lancaster hitting O on his keypad. Apps brings it down well. Apps keeping still.
Good little sequence there defensively for Louisville City. On the initial attack, Del Piccolo and Jimenez, there's a great little switch off. Del Piccolo picked up the pressure, realized that it was an overlapping run, indicated Jimenez to spread out wide, denied the pass, allowed the home team to come away from the ball. They weren't able to keep possession up the pitch. And then when the ball came back into Epps, Tosh did a great job to get goal side, strong on the challenge, and clear the danger for Louisville City.
Well, that pass was on the money for Rasmussen. Deflects away.
It was a low line drive. I thought the initial clearance, it was going to go to nobody, but it was right to Rasmussen's foot. It seemed he was as surprised as I was that it got to him and didn't control it as well as he would have liked.
Sheluya. Mawar throwing in. It's Najum, back heel. Turned over to Apps by Williams. Mawar, Najum, lays off Jones. Couldn't connect that final pass. Sheluya. Sheluya has really taken over this back line. Went out with a lot of fire in this second half, 43 in white. Del Piccolo in the center circle. Bizol tapping for Apps. Bizol still rushing upfield. Will hop toward the byline and out. A corner on the way. Brandon Allen, Bethlehem Steel.
I like what I'm seeing from the outside backs from Bethlehem Steel. Chalua on this near sideline and Bizo on that far sideline. They've had some good balance in the attack going forwards for the Bethlehem Steel team.
Tosh out in front of Aubrey. Williams knocks it ahead. Jimenez. Oh, well, now the break is on for Louisville. Runners coming. Jimenez fouled. Well, Oscar's looking for a commensurate card.
I thought the referee was going for a card for a moment, then he was getting out the spray foam. Beautiful break, and Jimenez just slowing things down just enough to allow his teammates to come up in support. You saw Illich sprinting forwards, trying to find a way to change a 1-on-3 break into a 3v3 break.
By the way, great news. Ref Edge has joined the USL as the preferred supplier of vanishing spray for the referees. There's finally a name for this. Pulling out his special Ref Edge can of what initially appears to be a shaving cream-ish size container. Well, now you know. Brian Ownby, beard and all, move towards the fourth official, getting last instructions from James O'Connor. Meanwhile, Cameron Lancaster has work to do. He's sitting on a brace. Lancaster goes for goal. It's caught by McGuire. Najum, how did he keep that? Najum wide, Allen deflects wide. And Allen was in an offside position. It won't be a corner.
That was a really close call from the assistant on that far sideline. Again, that Jem, I said he was going to be an important player for Bethlehem still in this second half. Somehow it just ended up at his feet. He didn't know anything about it. But it was a beautiful pass he made to Brandon Allen, who just strayed offsides.
I don't know if that ends up in the Blake down next week or ends up being Toyota move of the game, but
I don't know whether he has the drawing capability. How that ball ended up on that Jim's feet.
The key is to bend at a 90-degree angle. Rasmussen leading ball, and Jimenez catches up. Jimenez drives, seeking out Illich, steered aside. Davis stepped in. Del Piccolo. Jimenez is onside. Lost the handle entirely. Is there a counter for Bethlehem? Santi Mawar, the runner-up for USL Rookie of the Year last year. Mawar crossing, Allen the target, Jones arriving. Jones for Apps. Apps shoots. That got up. A really lively match tonight in Louisville.
Oh, it's end-to-end stuff. It's fantastic. And both sets of fans will be on the edge of their seats, gnawing on their fingernails.
Alexi trying to hold off Allen. Illich. Oh, we've seen this before. Executed well. Davis. Smith sidestepping Mawar. Up the line for Davis. Davis may get a second bite at the apple here. Smith crossing. Nobody there. Jimenez slides.
Just isn't really any runs going on in the box for the home team to provide a target for the service. It's got to be offside, Davis the fourth, but he's not. I was amazed that he's not in an offside position.
Davis levels with Williams. The return ball comes up a bit short. Apps galloping ahead. Laces for Mawar. Out to Najum. And a change on the way for Louisville City. Brian Ownby comes on. George Davis the fourth comes over to welcome the teammate, but it's Ilya Illich who's going to check out. It's a substitution brought to you by Great Clips. It's going to be great. And Ilya Illich scores in the 17th minute, and a guy who, by James O'Connor's estimation, really deserved a goal against Atlanta, found it tonight.
He played really well last week. He had that shot with the outside of the right boot that beat the goalkeeper, but not the crossbar. From outside of the box. Tonight, he was inside the 6. We weren't sure whether he was onside or offside for the longest time. But there was no doubt about where the ball ended up. Again, off his right peg, but it was in the back of the net, and in the end, it counted.
Turned over by Williams. Jones, surrounded by purple jerseys. Moar, a toe poke. That was saved by Ranjitsingh. It'll go out for a corner.
And Jones is really starting to stamp his authority on the midfield for Bethlehem Steel. Wins the ball well, gets it out to Moar. Under duress, finds his teammate. Ranjitsingh wasn't going to be beaten to the near post. Tips it out for the corner.
Najum. Lifted toward Moar, chesting down. And ushered out for a goal kick.
Love the attitude of Bethlehem Steel. Talked about it in the first half. They have this never say die attitude. You see it with Najim, Jones, Moar. A lot of grit and determination about the way they're playing the game.
Sheluya knocked it ahead, and Tosh. Del Piccolo into the attacking half for Louisville. Rasmussen motoring ahead. Jimenez. Rasmussen again. Rasmussen. Williams. And taken away. Davis off the mark. And Davis keeping the ball on his recovery run. This portion of tonight's game brought to you by Luna Azul Tequila, the official tequila of Lou City.
Collision there between Davis the fourth and Sheluya. No foul from the official.
Lancaster has scored twice. Illich the third for Louisville City. Epson the 44th. A measure of hope before halftime for Bethlehem team that just continues to grow into the match. Ombiu's come on as a second half sub. Ombi, a guy dealing with a hamstring injury early in the year. James O'Connor has been intent on taking things along slowly with Ombi. Only played 45 minutes in the preseason. A big part of that challenge to get him fully fit. Just his third appearance. Played 16 minutes against Atlanta United too. This is his biggest run out of the year, 10 in purple.
That's interesting, talking to Coach O'Connor about how you have to manage the expectations of the player himself as far as what he can do in managing the injury. Keeping the reins on Ombi, so to speak, so he doesn't try and do too much too soon.
He told us that these guys, they are really intent on making their way into the 11, and that sounds obvious, but when you're coming back from an injury, got to be careful.
Well, it's so hard as a coach and as a player, because all you want to do is you want to play, and also you want to put your best players out there. Also, as a coach, though, you have to look at the big picture. One, you have to protect the player from themselves and not create a worse problem. As much as you can, you want to let the player heal as fully as possible. But also, you're looking at the big picture of the season, especially when you have a short squad, as Coach O'Connor has. You have to manage those players so that they recover from those injuries quickly.
Lancaster shooting. Well, the crowd got into that, and Lancaster is still down.
As he took the shot with his right leg, I think he made contact with Sheluya, who's coming in to defend the effort from Lancaster. It was actually Aubrey that came over for the challenge. Not a nice feeling to get somebody else's shin across your shin as you're shooting the ball as hard as you can.
Louisville trying to continue an unbeaten run all time against Bethlehem. That includes the playoffs. And Lancaster will hobble his way off. You think back to last week, Lancaster was the slated sub late in the game against Atlanta United too, but a late cramp to Oscar Jimenez caused Luke Spencer to take his spot back on the bench, and Lancaster finished out the game. That may not be the case here tonight as he grimaces toward James O'Connor. Luke Spencer is standing by. Lancaster will trot in, at least for the moment.
The timing of the cramp from Jimenez was very fortuitous because Spencer was actually stood at the scorer's table ready to check in. As Jimenez went over to his coach, I can't go anymore. And smartly, Luke Spencer went back to the bench and Davis the fourth came in.
Well, Spencer is standing by, he's waiting. So Lancaster, it appears, in good enough health to continue for the moment. It's Jones. Mawar crossing toward the back post. Got over the foot of Epps. Catalano. Najum. That'll run out for a goal kick. And changes on the way. Santi Mawar will come out. The Spaniard giving way. Michi Galina will come on, the 18-year-old. Well, fulfilling his dream, playing professionally.
I'm not surprised to see Galini come in, but I'm surprised to see Moar go out. For me, he was playing really well for Bethlehem Steel. But having said that, of the front three midfielders for the visitors, I think they've all played pretty good. Epps, Najima, and Moar tonight. So pick your poison if you're Brendan Burke as far as who you take out.
Free kick on the way for Louisville. Rather Bethlehem, Louisville defending here. 67 minutes gone. Najum will go short. Catalano touched by Jones. Back. Najum. Return to sender. Catalano. Bizo. Jones played long. There's nobody in Lou City attacking half. Take over.
Wasted set piece there for Bethlehem Steel. It was returned to sender because they got the address all wrong. They need to deliver that one into the box, put some pressure on Ranjit Singh and the back three for Louisville City FC. You go short like that, it's all very narrow. No width was created and too easily defended by the home team.
There's Spencer waiting to come on. Lancaster was looking to hold up play. Ball fell short. Flicks on. Suwahi up the line. Jimenez. Ownby. Into space up the right channel. It's Galina who's just now come on, defending that space.
It was almost as if Ownby saw Spencer on the right and was passing the ball out to the substitute waiting to come in. Davis the fourth did really well to get on the end of it.
Ownby turning on the Jets. Contact, but Ownby keeps still. And it's in between two Louisville players. It was nearly a hat-trick goal for Lancaster. Rasmussen was knocking on the door too.
Aubrey, I think it was struggling, never got on terms with Omby, the fleet-footed number 10. Got around behind the defender. The ball was exactly where it needed to be. All ends up. Oh, look at the save from the goalkeeper there. That's why nobody from Louisville City FC got to it. Maguire got such an important touch with his right leg.
Luke Spencer comes on, and it's a swan song for Cameron Lancaster. A substitution brought to you by Great Clips. It's going to be great.
It's not going to be credited as a save for Jake Maguire, but make no mistake, that was a fantastic save from the goalkeeper. Rasmussen was right in the picture. Would have put that one in so easily, but the goalkeeper's right big toe deflects it out.
Chris Nanko will come on for Bethlehem. Second substitute used on the roadside. Will replace Adam Najum. Played really well in this second half. It's a substitution brought to you by Great Clips.
Brendan Burke, I think Mike is just trying to get some fresh legs in. Najim and Moar have played so well in this game for Bethlehem Steel, trying to get something going, trying to find a way to get the second goal.
Galina. Nanko. Last year, speaking with Brendan Burke, he called Nanko just a bullet off the bench for his team. Guy who played in each of the last 22 games of the season for Bethlehem, but the outset of the year, he's played in just 2 of the team's opening 5 matches coming into the night. Derek Jones. Mahoney, trialist last year, who finds himself in the starting 11 center back tonight. It's a team that's been led in past years by Austin Trusty in the back. Sheluya pops it up. It's a 2-fisted punch. Ranjit Singh. Sheluya. Oh, Brendan Burke shouting for a handball off of Kyle Smith. Goes unheard. And a foul from Omby at the halfway line. It's a yellow card to Omby for the challenge.
I don't think he can complain about that. He did go to ground. I think the reaction of Mahoney, though, sold it a little bit more in the referee's eyes.
Tonight's keys to the game were powered by Kentucky Lottery. We remind you that lottery proceeds fund college scholarship and grant programs, including every dollar of the popular Keys Scholarship Program. Did it match up to the expectation?
Well, I think we can say Bethlehem Steel did not deny Lancaster with his 2 goals tonight. And Louisville City certainly have finished their chances. But as this game continues, they've got to keep managing the transition. If they don't, then Bethlehem Steel might find a way to get that second goal and perhaps even the third.
Aubrey lofted away toward Galina. Galina between 2 players. Luke Spencer. Chase on from Apodaca. Oh, beware, he is the ultimate goal scorer in the NCAA last year. Doesn't come from a major program, but nobody scored more goals than he did at California Baptist. And he scored 5 in 7 preseason matches. He came on for Brandon Allen. Marcus Epps whistled. See it overcome Paulo Del Piccolo. George Davis arrives on the scene.
Our previous player, Luke Spencer, did really well for Louisville City, holding the play up. Well defended by Shalua, but big number 12. You just see him looking around himself now, see where the support was coming from. Realizing it wasn't there, did enough to slow things down, allow his teammates to come. Couldn't find the distribution forwards, turned it around and passed it back, keep possession. In the end, it all went back to the back line and petered out to Nout, but just important how the forwards hold up the play to bring the rest of the team into the picture.
Boy, Jones has had a couple instances of just phenomenal footwork. Nanko ahead. Caught Ranjit Singh. Just a little touch. Apodaca could have been enough. Off of Omby. Well, that worked out. Rasmussen. Square ball for Jimenez. Well, Louisville on the verge of 6 unbeaten to start the year. 5 wins and a draw if they can see out the winning margin. Have them top of the Eastern Conference despite having an early season game rescheduled due to field conditions caused by early snow and rain.
Weather was really disruptive to Louisville City FC. The practice pitch flooded, so they had to train on AstroTurf as well as some grass once the flooding subsided, and caused some problems for players like Luke Spencer, who's had injuries in the past, had to rest a little bit, going from the different surfaces. It goes into the team management of the players that we've been talking about throughout this match. The other thing that's impressive about their record is that a number of those teams in the top 8, their only losses come to Louisville City FC. We've got Cincinnati, Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Still plenty of time here. Luke Spencer. Spencer steps over, drops back. Brian Omby attempted to curl. Bethlehem will build from the back. 1 goal, and all of a sudden, a result away to Louisville doesn't seem so far-fetched for Bethlehem. Trying to find something here against the Louisville team that dominated the second half of games last year.
This passes back to the defending 3 for Louisville City. They have to make sure that they connect. There's a lot of speed in the front 4 for Bethlehem still. If one of those passes goes astray, Apodaca will pounce for sure.
Rolls up to Nanko. Michi Galena. Swiped upfield by Ombi. Tosh does well with all that. Ombi. Spencer again. He'll square up. Spencer enters the area, goes down. Ombi ricochets, and now McGuire takes over. It was Rasmussen on the follow.
James O'Connor thinks it should have been a penalty kick.
Oh, yeah?
Tonight's attendance, Cinnabon Hometown Pizza, is 7,876.
81st minute. Jones plays it through this time, squared across, and launched out of harm's way. There's Galena again. Luke Spencer going in on Aubrey. The reinforcements arrive.
Luke Spencer is sneaky quick. His running style is, I describe it somewhat lumbering, but he lumbers quickly once he gets going. So difficult to defend. He's so strong on the ball.
Well, Ranjitsing almost put that in the concourse. If it's in the seats, you have to give it back. If it's in the concourse, I think that's a keeper.
It came back down into the seats. It got thrown back.
You get a chance to go home with one of these select soccer balls, you are a goner. It's Jones.
I'd be tempted to have the players sign it, but then they'd make me give it back.
Sheluya. Jones lobbing over the top. Suwahi handled that. Rasmussen is nearly dispossessed, and here's Luke Spencer again. Off on the run. Spencer with his left curling off frame. Now Spencer has just been phenomenal since coming on. Penalty?
I've seen him given. Seen him given. There's a double yellow. Where's the red to go with it? And I've seen those given, Mike. I can also see why it wasn't given, because the ball wasn't really in his control. He was reaching for it out of balance a little bit. It's one of those that you feel a little hard done by as the player or the coach, no matter which way it goes. If it gets called a PK, you think it's too soft. If it's not, you think it was a definite one that should have been given. So he did well.
Apodaca was not going to be turned away so easily, was he? Derek Jones caught Ranjitsing, and Mike Catalano strolling in. Luke Spencer. Del Piccolo tapping outside. Jimenez catches on. Jimenez swerving. Rasmussen. Tosh. Oh, Ombi's got a little bit of real estate. Speedy Williams And now Jones carrying ahead for Bethlehem Steel. Team that opened with 4 goals against Richmond in the middle of March. They've scored 3 goals in nearly 5 games since. Elsewhere, Charlotte hosting Indy 11. They finish 0-0. Shot deflects down, follow, save, Ranjitsingh. Apodaca won't pick up that first career goal tonight, at least not yet.
Wonderful opportunity, brilliant save. When Jetsing had to adjust, Mike, he stepped into the point of the triangle to make the goal line look small. Then had to readjust because the initial opportunity was deflected back to Apodaca. And quickly with the feet did he make the second save.
Sheluya pushing ahead. Galina crossing, caught. Ranjitsingh pulled it out of midair.
There's the first shot that was stopped. There's the adjustment by the keeper. Apodaca would rue the fact that he put it almost right at Ranjitsingh, but take nothing away from the goalkeeper. He had to make a very nice save with his feet.
Now the other way, Ownby. Out by Catalano, 22-year-old out of Wisconsin.
He's been a little unsung. I know I haven't said his name a lot tonight, Catalano. He, in partnership with number 8, Jones, have done a pretty good job for Bethlehem Steel. It's Jones that's caught the eye, stepping into the breach and winning the ball and then trying to get forwards, but it's only because Catalano allows him to do so.
Del Piccolo. Rasmussen stepping on the ball to keep it in play. And ultimately conceding a goal kick. You know, the more you watch Bethlehem, the more obvious it is they're not going to be 1-3-2 kind of team for long.
No, they're too good. And one, they have too much talent, but 2, they play with too much heart. And a team that has this spirit of competitiveness will find a way to get wins.
Louisville starts a 2-game road swing next. They've played away to Cincinnati and gotten a win. They've played away to Gwinnett. At Atlanta United 2 last weekend, picked up a draw. It's off to the Oil Drum in Indy, the house that Peyton built. They've drawn enormous crowds. And then it's off to Nashville, a future MLS team, in their first USL season. Having that great first game at Nissan Stadium of late. Good crowds at their own facility. Ownby. Overrun. Got the pass off. Spencer cutting. Well, the final result not nearly as strong.
I think the eyes got big. Over swung at the ball as he tried to take that left-footed shot. And great build-up play.
And any conversation about Bethlehem Steel will be incomplete without mentioning that notably players like Sekou Kone, who have moved on to the K-League 2, a Liberian national teamer, has moved on. And they're without Corey Burke, an outstanding goal scorer and winger. This falling Nanko, stabbed away by Tosh.
And to say nothing of the fact that James Chambers is not on the pitch.
It's Nanko from the corner. Short hopping the intended targets. Epps trots ahead and drives. Apodaca. Hit it to the back post. Off the mark into the 90th minute.
He gets hold of the ball. He's got one thing on his mind. Where is the goal? Can I find a way to put the ball in the back of the net?
Nanko. But the step by Sawai. Bizo. And taken back by Louisville City. Stoppage time is brought to you by Sullivan University. 3 minutes still to play in front of 7,876 tonight in downtown Louisville. Evening of the big Kentucky Derby Marathon, and the Derby just a week away. The Bats had great attendance here last weekend and set a baseball record for the stadium. Nanko in on Smith. Davis at the touchline. I'm not sure what the Venn diagram looks like between marathon runners and people that were still awake to come to the game this evening. When I finish with my 26.2 miles, I don't know. Edge of the area. Galina. Spencer to ground. It's a foul short of the halfway line.
Aubrey giving Spencer all the attention that he can, commits the foul. Clumsy one, gives Louisville City some time to set this up and run some seconds off the clock.
Three goals tonight for Louisville. They've now scored 10 goals by 7 different players this year. They're going to stretch their unbeaten streak even further, back to 13 games going into the final stretch ahead of the playoffs. The 2017 USL season. They have 2 losses at home in 15 months. Cross-field pass. Steered aside. Well, leave it to me to not update the numbers. That unbeaten streak has swelled even further than that. From long distance, it's into Scouse's house.
3 minutes are up.
Oh, Louisville atop the East. 6 unbeaten to start the 2018 season. 5 wins and a draw through 6 matches. The best start in franchise history, and James O'Connor's men have stretched it to 17 unbeaten going back to the end of 2017. A 3-1 win in front of 7,876 at Slugger Field. Lancaster a pair. Illich with 1 in the 17th minute as well. And it's a phenomenal result in the rematch of the quarterfinal from last year's playoffs.
It was by no means easy. The scoreline is doing a disservice to Bethlehem still, who were really good value for money tonight. But it's the home team, the home fans that are the happiest. And it was that 10-minute stretch in the first 45 that really put paid to the game as far as the result was concerned, but a really entertaining match.
Cameron Lancaster starting to look like the dominant scorer of a couple of years ago. Early injuries sidetracking him a bit in 2017, but scoring the biggest goal in franchise history, USL Cup final in the 88th minute. He's come out strong to start this 2018 season. 4 goals in 6 games at the outset for Cameron Lancaster. Phenomenal result. It could have been more, really, for both. Lou City 3, Bethlehem Steel 1. More from Louisville coming up after this.
Fun, excitement, innovation, inspiration. That's the feeling of spring. Anything and everything is possible because life is happening all around us. Make every drive more satisfying in a built-in-the-USA Toyota truck. Now at Toyota's Make Life Happen sales event, get 1.9% financing for 60 months on a new 2018 Tacoma, or a $309 a month lease, or get up to $1,250 cash back on Tundra. See your Toyota dealer and make life happen. Toyota, let's go places.
So you finally got those implants? How do they feel? Like it wasn't painful?
Come on, you have to show us.
You look so different. You look amazing.
Wow, and they offer financing options?
They accepted your insurance?
Does Doug like them? I mean, I just can't get over it. They look fantastic.
I never would have thought those are dental implants.
You might have the wrong idea about implants too. For the truth about dental implants, call 502-IMPLANT.
At Dr. Mark Lennon Associates, I focus on taking care of my family, but I also focus on taking care of your family. We firmly believe that you've got to give back. Our primary goal is to do what's right for the patient. If that means glasses, contacts, or treating an eye condition, we will be sure you get the care that you need. We want to take care of you the same way we take care of all our family. This is our family. And here at Dr. Mark Lennon Associates, we're focused on your family, the community, and most importantly, your vision.
Oh, Captain Jack waving the flag on high among the Purple family. It's a 3-1 Lou City win over Bethlehem Steel. It's a phenomenal result against a team that saw this Bethlehem Steel side in the playoffs a year ago.
That's a brilliant result for the home team. Well deserved. Again, Bethlehem still so competitive, so much heart, and maybe feel a little unlucky that it was a 3-1 scoreline. But when you have a man like this, Cameron Lancaster, finishing efforts like that, stayed with it, fortunate bounce, but just like a good striker should, stays with the ball, didn't even look up the second time, knew where the goal was, puts it away with his left leg.
13th minute, and it's an early 1-0 lead. This is onside because it was untouched on its way to Illich in the 17th.
Measured to perfection was the cross from Smith. And then Illich, he hit the crossbar with the outside of his right leg last week. He made no mistake with the inside of his right leg this week from much closer.
And then Cameron Lancaster, a standing ovation again, 22nd minute. He's got 2 on the night.
Well, the back line just dropped off. Mahoney didn't close down, and Lancaster said, "Thank you very much. I know where the back of the net is. It's right there." And Maguire just disappointed that he let in 3. But at the end of the first half, Marcus Epps, he wasn't finished. Neither was Bethlehem Steel. Nice little entry pass. Epps holds it up. He came from deep, from behind the back line almost, from the blind side, and does a fantastic job putting it in the back of the net. But the action didn't stop in the first half. It continued into the second.
This Brandon Allen takes a deflection. He was in an offside position. It wouldn't have counted. We see Bethlehem continue to build up, and as the game went along, they had a couple moments that were concerning for Louisville, to say the least.
They certainly did. The midfield quintet of Catalano, Jones, Epps, Moa, and Najim really tried their best. And then Maguire, the save of the game for me. It's not going to give him a statistic of a save, but the right foot putting the ball out of the way of Rasmussen after great work from Ownby.
And there are the full-time statistics. Bethlehem outshoots Louisville in this game, but stats at times can be irrelevant, and in the end, Louisville gets the bump in the scoreline.
Well, they put the ball in the back of the net, which is something that they've struggled to do in the first few games of this season, although they do have 7 different goal scorers, but it was efficiency in scoring in that first half. and that was the difference tonight for the home team.
How about we take a look at our Toyota move of the game? Let's go places just like Ilya Illich did. Have a look at this fine finish.
Well, it's a fine finish, but there was a fine move from George Davis IV to start it off, sending Moa the wrong way. Finds Smith, who crosses it in beautifully, and Illich just times his run to perfection at the back post and puts it into the back of the net. Beautifully done.
Well-deserved stuff for the 26-year-old Serbian. And that was the 2-0 goal. It finishes 3-1. A look ahead for both these teams. Bethlehem, they've got the Richmond Kickers next Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern at Goodman Stadium. For Louisville next up, 5-5, May the 5th at Indianapolis, a noon start. That is going to be a fantastic early season fixture.
It will be a great game against Indy 11. A strange time to be playing the game. It'll be strange for the players and their pre-game routines, but nonetheless, it'll still be a fantastic match.
But we'll be ready for it, right?
We'll be ready for it.
Can't wait to bring it to you next Saturday afternoon. Well, it's a fine finish for Louisville City at home, 5-0-1. They're up now to a total of 16 points through 6 games as they dominate Bethlehem in a 10-minute stretch, 3 goals to finish a 3-1 win. For Matt Stubbington and our entire team, Mike Watts saying so long for now. Lou City, the best start in franchise history. Knock off the steal. 3-1. Good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.